Once upon a time, in a bright and bustling forest filled with colorful flowers and singing birds, there lived a little squirrel named Squeaky. Squeaky was curious and playful, always hopping from tree to tree, exploring every corner of the forest. He loved collecting acorns more than anything else, and he would spend hours looking for the biggest and shiniest ones. Squeaky had many friends in the forest, like Ruby the red robin who loved to sing, Benny the brave little bunny who always helped others, and Timmy the tiny turtle who was slow but very wise. Even though Squeaky loved to play and have fun, he sometimes forgot to think about others, especially when it came to sharing the acorns he found. One sunny morning, as Squeaky was hopping along a branch, he noticed a shiny golden acorn tucked under a pile of leaves. It was the most beautiful acorn he had ever seen, and his eyes sparkled with excitement. He wanted to take it home and keep it all for himself. Just as he reached for the acorn, Ruby flew down beside him and chirped, "Squeaky, that acorn looks special. Maybe we should share it with everyone." Squeaky hesitated for a moment, thinking about how wonderful it would be to keep the acorn just for him, but he remembered the happy faces of his friends when they played together. With a little sigh, he nodded and said, "You're right, Ruby. Let's share it." Together, they rolled the golden acorn to the clearing where Benny, Timmy, and all their friends were waiting. Everyone gathered around, their eyes wide with amazement at the shiny treasure. Squeaky carefully split the acorn into small pieces so everyone could enjoy it. As they all nibbled on the golden treat, Squeaky felt a warm happiness in his heart. He realized that sharing brought joy far greater than keeping something all to himself. From that day on, Squeaky tried to think of others whenever he found something special. The forest seemed even brighter and happier, and Squeaky's friends loved him even more because he was kind and caring. That evening, as the sun set and painted the sky with orange and pink colors, Squeaky sat on his favorite branch and thought about the day. He understood that true happiness comes from sharing, helping, and caring for others, not just from what you keep for yourself. He smiled to himself and whispered, "I'm going to be the kindest squirrel in the whole forest." And with that thought, he curled up and fell asleep, dreaming of new adventures and happy moments with his friends. The next morning, Squeaky woke up to a soft breeze rustling the leaves, and he felt excited to start a new day. As he scampered through the forest, he heard a tiny cry coming from the bushes below. Curious, he peeked through the leaves and saw a little caterpillar struggling to climb a stick. "Oh no, you're stuck!" Squeaky exclaimed and quickly ran down to help. "Don't worry, little friend, I'll help you." The caterpillar, whose name was Carla, looked relieved and whispered, "Thank you, Squeaky. I want to get to the top of this stick to see the view, but I keep slipping." Squeaky gently nudged Carla upwards, and step by step, she finally reached the top. From there, she could see the entire forest, glistening under the morning sun. "Wow, it's beautiful," Carla cheered, spinning around happily. Squeaky felt proud that he helped his new friend, and he realized that being kind to someone in need made him even happier than finding a golden acorn. As they talked, Ruby flew down and suggested, "Why don't we all explore the meadow today? There might be other friends who need help too." Squeaky and Carla nodded excitedly, and soon Benny and Timmy joined them. Together, they hopped and waddled through the forest, discovering little critters and helping them whenever they could. They helped a baby bird back into its nest, guided a lost ladybug to its family, and even shared berries with a hungry hedgehog. Each act of kindness made their hearts grow warm and their smiles brighter. Squeaky noticed that the more they helped, the more friends they made, and the forest seemed even more alive with laughter and joy. As the day passed, Squeaky learned that helping others was an adventure just as exciting as finding treasures, and it created a special magic that made everyone around him happy. By the time the sun began to sink behind the trees, painting the sky with shades of purple and gold, Squeaky realized that the forest was full of tiny wonders that could only be appreciated when shared with friends. He looked around at Carla, Ruby, Benny, and Timmy and felt grateful. The little squirrel understood that each day was an opportunity to spread kindness, and he promised himself that he would never let a chance to help a friend pass by. That night, Squeaky snuggled into his nest, feeling the gentle rhythm of the forest and whispering, "Tomorrow, we will make even more friends happy." The next morning, the forest was buzzing with excitement because it was the day of the Great Forest Race. All the young animals gathered near the big oak tree, eager to participate and show their speed and cleverness. Squeaky, always eager for fun, joined his friends at the starting line. Ruby chirped encouragingly, Benny twitched his nose, and Timmy slowly made his way to the line with a determined look. "Remember," said the wise old owl, who was the race organizer, "this race is not just about being fast. It is about helping each other and showing teamwork. Squeaky felt a flutter of curiosity. How could a race about speed also be about helping others? The race began, and Squeaky dashed forward with all his might, feeling the wind rush past his tiny fur. Soon, he saw Carla, the little caterpillar, struggling to climb a steep hill. He remembered the happiness he felt when he helped her before and quickly turned back. Come on, Carla, I'll help you up. Together, step by step, they climbed the hill, and Squeaky felt a glow of joy inside. Other animals noticed and joined in, helping each other across tricky patches of mud and fallen branches. By the time they reached the finish line, everyone was covered in leaves and dirt, but they were smiling brightly. Squeaky realized that even though he didn't come first, he had won something far more special. He had made new friends, helped others, and discovered the thrill of teamwork. The wise old owl nodded wisely and said, "The true winners are those who share their strength and kindness with others. Today, all of you have won the greatest prize of all." Squeaky looked around at his friends, seeing the pride and happiness in their eyes, and felt a deep warmth in his heart. He understood that winning wasn't about being the fastest or the strongest but about caring for those around you and working together. That evening, as the stars twinkled above the forest, Squeaky lay on a soft patch of moss and whispered, "I want to be helpful and kind every single day, not just in races." He closed his eyes, dreaming of the adventures and acts of kindness that awaited him and his friends in the days to come. A few days later, the forest was preparing for the annual Forest Festival, a celebration where all the animals decorated their homes, danced, sang, and shared their favorite treats. Squeaky and his friends were busy helping the younger animals hang lanterns, weave flower garlands, and carry baskets of berries. Squeaky noticed a little mouse named Mia, who was shy and hesitant, watching everyone from a corner. "Come join us, Mia," Squeaky called warmly, hopping over. Mia twitched her tiny nose and said softly, "I'm not sure I can do anything. I might make a mess." Squeaky smiled gently and said, "Don't worry, Mia. I'll help you, and we can do it together." Step by step, they worked together, arranging flowers and placing lanterns carefully. Soon, Mia's confidence grew, and she began laughing and dancing with the other animals. Squeaky felt proud of his friend and realized that kindness sometimes meant giving courage to others. The festival began as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with golden hues. Music and laughter filled the forest as everyone danced and shared delicious treats. Squeaky joined hands with Ruby, Benny, Timmy, Carla, and Mia, feeling the joy of friendship and togetherness. He understood that happiness multiplies when shared, and the more love and kindness you give, the brighter the world becomes. That night, as the animals settled down under the stars, Squeaky reflected on the festival. He realized that helping others, sharing what you have, and being kind was like planting seeds. Each act of kindness grew into joy, love, and friendship. He whispered to himself, "I will always look for ways to help, share, and make the forest a happy place for everyone." And with that, he closed his eyes, dreaming of a world where kindness and care touched every heart. One morning, Squeaky woke to a soft rain tapping on the leaves, making little puddles sparkle in the forest. As he hopped through the wet branches, he noticed a small bird named Pip, shivering under a leaf, drenched and frightened. "Oh no, Pip, you're wet and cold," Squeaky exclaimed. He quickly ran to gather a big leaf and gently covered Pip to keep him dry. "Don't worry, I'll stay with you until it stops raining," Squeaky said. Pip chirped gratefully, feeling safe for the first time that morning. Squeaky thought about all the times he had helped his friends and realized that sometimes kindness meant being there for someone when they were scared or sad. As the rain continued, Squeaky gathered soft moss and twigs to make a tiny cozy nest for Pip. Soon, Pip's feathers dried, and he chirped happily, flapping his wings with joy. Squeaky felt a warm glow inside, knowing that he had made a difference. The rain stopped, and a beautiful rainbow stretched across the sky, reflecting in the puddles. Squeaky and Pip ran to show the rainbow to their friends, who marveled at the colors. Everyone laughed and played, sharing the joy of the moment. Squeaky realized that helping someone in need, no matter how small the gesture, created happiness that could light up the entire day. He understood that every act of kindness, big or small, was like a drop of rain that helped flowers bloom and hearts shine. That evening, as the forest sparkled under the rainbow's fading colors, Squeaky whispered, "I will always help and care for my friends, rain or shine." And he snuggled into his cozy nest, dreaming of the many ways he could spread kindness in the days ahead. Days passed, and Squeaky's heart was filled with stories of friendship, sharing, and kindness. One sunny morning, he found himself at the top of his favorite tree, looking over the forest he loved so dearly. All his friends were nearby, laughing, playing, and helping one another. Squeaky remembered the golden acorn, the great forest race, the festival, the rainy day with Pip, and every little act of kindness he had shared. He realized that each moment of care and sharing had made the forest a brighter, happier place. A gentle breeze rustled the leaves as Squeaky thought about what he had learned. Happiness is not found in treasures or winning races, but in giving, helping, and being kind to others. He saw the joy in his friend's eyes and felt a warmth in his heart that was better than any golden acorn. Squeaky knew that every day was an opportunity to make a difference, and even small acts of kindness could grow into something wonderful. He hopped down to join his friends, carrying a basket of berries to share with everyone, just like he had learned. They all laughed, played, and shared, feeling the magic of friendship and love filling the forest. That evening, as the sun set and painted the sky in shades of gold and purple, Squeaky curled up on his branch and whispered, "I will always be kind, helpful, and caring, because that is the true treasure of life." And as the stars twinkled above, the little squirrel dreamed of endless adventures, knowing that the forest would always be filled with happiness, laughter, and love, as long as he and his friends continued to care for one another. From that day forward, Squeaky was known as the kindest squirrel in the forest, and his story of sharing, helping, and friendship spread far and wide, reminding everyone that true happiness comes from the heart and shines brightest when it is shared.